Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, back with my bestie, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm finally back amongst the living. My voice is back, sounding pretty again, and feeling
Mm-hmm.
myself, so to speak. So to speak.
Perfect. That's
Yes.
perfect. Happy New Year's, my friend.
Happy New Year's to you.
Yeah.
How were your holidays?
Really nice. Like
Yeah.
really, yeah, lots of family time, some downtime from work, which was much needed after Q4 craziness, and lots of travel, which I'm very happy is over. For now. For now. Of course, we travel again next week.
Where all did you guys go for the
We went
holidays?
up to Maine. So Matt's family lives like way northern Maine, like border of Canada, which is quite a
Right.
drive from Rhode Island. But we make it a couple times a year and it's worth it to see everyone for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. How
We
about
went
you?
down south to Mississippi to see my parents, as
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah.
It was quite the production. Mira got caught up in the snowstorm foolishness,
Come
and
on.
she had flown out to Arizona to go to Grand Canyon, and she went to Utah and then over to Vegas to fly out. And so she's flying out of Vegas, and her flight got canceled the first night in Vegas, and so she was going to get here on Christmas Day. And Christmas Day they flew her to Atlanta, and she got stranded in Atlanta.
What?
And so that sucked. So I bought her a quick flight to Memphis because it's close. It's like, really short trip. And I figured at least the far less chance she'd get stranded. And that's only about an hour from my family.
Okay.
So she wasn't here for Christmas, but she was at my mom's house. So she got biscuits and gravy and she was very happy. So
Well, it's a bummer how it like worked out, but I'm glad that you made the best of it.
yeah, it was weird. It made me think of like all these traditions you have as families. And it's not really tradition, but we do it every year since the girls have been little. We go to see my parents at Christmas, and it's me and my two girls. And so this year it was me and just Megan. And it
Hmm.
was weird to have just one kid in the car, like really weird. And we also got caught in snow. So it was like a super long trip. And so we were both just bitching and moaning the whole way, like just the entire way. It was 14 hours in the car because of the snow.
Woof.
And
OMG.
it was terrible. But she and I always have fun together. And she had a big box of Cheerios, and we're literally just eating dry Cheerios in the car as I'm driving, just fistfuls, like we're both a couple of 5-year-olds. Like it was a blast.
Just chatting for 14 hours, eating dry cereal. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's fun though, like listening to her playlist. I made her do playlists the whole way. And so that's always fun to
Fun.
like kind of
That's
figure out what your
fun.
kid listens to.
Yeah,
And
what are the kids listening to these days? I truly don't know.
well, Megan is very unique. And I don't know how unique she is, but she's unique to me that it was all John Denver and
Mm.
it was like all this like 70s folk and pop and American
All,
Pie and,
yeah, all
you
that
know,
stuff is back. All
yeah.
that like nostalgia. Do you know how like bell bottoms are back? That's like a thing. I
Mhm.
wore bell bottoms the other day that I had in my closet from the last
Hmm.
time that bell bottoms were cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love it. Love it. Hello,
ridiculous.
Megan. Is it Megan or Megan?
Hi,
Megan.
Megan. Megan.
Megan. I'm gonna go with Megan.
Hi.
Although my daughter would say she spells it wrong. Anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the show, Megan.
Um, well, I'm glad that you had a good time. I'm sorry that it all got kind of jacked up, but like
Oh,
at least it sort of worked out in the end.
let me tell you what we did in Mississippi though.
What?
First time ever. Cat Cafe.
What?
Yes. So we're just
What?
hanging. There's nothing to do in Tupelo. It's a small town, small Mississippi town. All there is to do is eat food that's terrible for you and CrossFit. Like that is it.
That sounds
And
like my perfect vacation.
well, and there's kind of two stories in this. First of all, I wasn't even going to eat the terrible food because my mom, God bless her, sweetest woman on the planet, she's trying to support my Wodapalooza training. So she's
Right.
literally making me baked chicken and rice every day and would not let me eat anything
Oh,
else.
oh my
Everybody
word.
else is eating pizza. I'm eating chicken and rice. So I love her, but I didn't get a biscuit the whole week I was there. It was like,
What?
really? Yes, the whole week.
Well, that is a crime.
Dude, I'm the first person in the history of ever to travel to the South and come back lighter. Like
Wow.
that is a no BS story. But anyway, I digress. We we're sitting around. My sister's like, "Oh, you guys should go to the cat cafe," and I'm like, "Oh, what the hell's a cat cafe?" apparently this woman has this house right in kind of uptown Tupelo that she fosters cats, and she has 20 at any given time,
Hmm.
and people adopt them. And I guess she's placed like 70 cats, and you
Oh
have to pay
shit.
to get in. And so we go down and pay, and sure as the world, 20 cats, and they're so friendly and all different kinds. And we just spent like a couple hours just playing with cats. It was awesome.
Oh, so it's not a real cafe. It's not like a like order a cappuccino cafe. It's like a full on like cat shelter that you can like go and like hang
No, no,
out and
no. It's like, well, they have drinks, but they don't make coffees. Like you can buy like canned sodas, or you can bring in drinks. Like we brought in
okay.
coffee, and I would view it more like a library. Like they have books that you can take and bring, and little rooms to sit in. It's a nice little house. There's just cats everywhere.
Oh
It's
my God.
crazy. It was
It
so
sounds like
much fun.
fun.
It was so much fun.
Adorable.
Yeah, if you ever just want to go play with kittens and have no responsibility, take them home. It's perfect.
How did you not walk out with a new cat is really what I want to know.
Well, I had a 12-hour drive the next day, so I'm not going to drive 12 hours with a cat.
No, I feel like a cat would just chill that whole time.
No.
Well,
Absolutely not.
I clearly know
Abs-
nothing of cats.
I know. Well, Carrie Ann's in the comments saying Bean needs a friend. Trust me, there was actually this one little orange kitten that was
Oh,
so cute. I wanted him so bad. I'm like, I thought about it briefly. I'm like, maybe Bean needs a friend, but I'm like, no, 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 I'm not doing that. I'm not
I feel like
surprising him.
Bean would hate that. Bean would be like, "Fuck you! I can't believe you brought me this cat."
Here's what I did bring Bean. So when we get there, you pay to get in, and they do a tap fee. If you bring in your own drinks, you have to pay like $2 to bring in your drinks, or they'll sell you drinks. That seemed fair.
Yeah,
And she saw we had the drinks. She's like, listen, instead of the tap fee, we'll waive that if you buy a cat toy. And they have these little crocheted cat toys for $2. And I'm like, all right, well, that's a
cute.
no brainer. I'll do that. She's
Yeah.
like, they're full of catnip. Now, Bean has never had catnip.
Oh, he hasn't? Isn't that
No.
like a common thing to give your
Well, maybe,
kittens?
but he's never had it. So I bought him a
Okay.
bunch of these little toys, and he got high AF when I brought that thing home. He guards that little thing like it is gold. Like he just sits there and puts his little paws over it. You don't go near his little catnip toy.
Oh my
Man,
God, how cute.
I know I sound like a cat lady right now, but it was like hysterical. Like he's been going nuts over this thing all week. It's just cracking
Oh
me
my
up.
God.
Too much.
Adorable. Really, the winner of the entire holiday season is
Mhm.
Bean, obviously.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So
Do you get anything good for Christmas? Do you guys do like adult gifts or anything?
yeah, I got a few things. I wonder if it's look, Megan made me a gift. You're gonna
What?
love this. I'm gonna show you this on the air. So Megan knows, both my girls know, I covet homemade presents. I love them
Oh,
because
I
they mean a
love
lot.
that. Yeah,
Like if someone,
100%. Oh,
yeah, if
yeah.
someone makes you something, it's like a couple of years ago, Megan made me this Christmas tree. She took forks and she bent them and built this tree and painted it green, and it's got little balls all over it, and it's like so cute.
Cool.
And I put it out every year. This year, she's like, I was trying to think of the perfect thing. So she made me a voodoo doll for all my internet haters.
Oh my
Look
God.
at this thing. It's got little pins so if someone says horrible things about me on the internet, I can just poke them
You can poke them. You can stick a needle directly in their eyeball.
right in their eyeball.
Oh my
I know,
God.
how
That
awesome
is
is that?
really, really sweet. She's just like really she tried to like mix like something like weird and funky and cool with something like really legitimately meaningful to you. And that is so sweet.
I've
Oh
used it
my
a few
God, my
times this
heart.
week. Not gonna
Oh
lie.
yeah?
Used it a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Been
Yeah.
getting some haters.
No, I just thought it was really funny.
That's
So
awesome. I'm with
but
you. I love all that. Homemade gifts are the best. I just recently like every once in a while, like maybe 2 times a week, they'll send home like little art projects from
mhm.
daycare that are like, "Oh, Hunter like painted this with his fingerprints," or "Here's like a hand stamp and we made it look like something." And I bought like a big art portfolio, and I've been like sliding them into the pages to like save them
Yep.
forever and ever because I'm obsessed with them.
Hey, I got this shirt. What do you think?
Oh, is it
Makes my
is it a
shoulders look good, right? It's
it
Viore.
does. Oh, it is? Do you
Yeah.
like it? Not an ad, hashtag not sponsored, but
I
like, do
wish
you
I was
like
sponsored because I'm head to toe Viore right now. I have on
are
the
you
sweatpants.
really like it? I was thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
getting some for Matt.
I love this thing. So if you're gonna get him
Really?
one, get him the top. Like
Okay.
super comfy. It's like a sweater, but it's not a sweater.
Does
Super
it really
soft.
feel like butter? Yeah, that's like really
Mhm.
soft fabrics are what they're known for,
Fits
right?
athletic, so it's good, if you work out. and the sweatpants are great. Love
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like it's like my new Lulu.
Whoa.
I'm so basic right now.
Whoa. But are you gonna go back on Lulu like that?
I mean,
That's the
let's be honest.
question.
Between becoming a cat lady and having all the Lululemon and the Vuori now, I am so basic, so basic.
I would embrace it. I love everything about being chuggy. I'm here for it. I know that label was made to like hate on the millennials, but I'm embracing it. I am.
I'm loving it.
Someone told me, no, it was interns. We were we were interviewing interns for work the other day, and they're sweet girls. They're like 19, 20 years old, and they were like going through my agency website to like, give compliments because they want to get hired or whatever. And then one of them was just like, yeah, real honest, the website was very millennial.
Nice.
And I was like horrified, but
Right.
also like, yeah, of course it is. Like, we're all in our 30s and we run this agency. Of course it's millennial. Duh. And
I,
she was like pointing out like little jokes that we made that like no one says anymore, or how we have like a GIF on it. And she was like, well, you use a GIF. And I was like, do people not use GIFs anymore? And she was like, I mean, no, they don't. And I'm like
oh,
scrolling back through my texts, and I sent like no less than 30 GIFs this week. I send gifts to everyone. I am so millennial. It's
yep.
painful.
You're
It
old.
really is. I
Hey,
am
here's the
old as
other
fuck.
gift I got. I don't know if you can see this on here. Look at this.
Oh,
Got my initials on it.
cool.
Little
It's like,
sequence.
I love
And it
that.
says JFW, but every time I look at it, it looks like an E. So I think it says Jew.
I actually almost was like, was it for me?
Yeah, it
Did
looks
they
like a little
accidentally
bit.
give it to you?
No, my partner, my Jen, partner at the gym, gave them to me. She gave me a pair of these, and I love them. They're great.
That's so fun. What are you drinking about tonight?
Right now it's bourbon. It's lovely.
Ooh, okay. So we're
New
having just
Wodapalooza bourbon.
a little nip here and there.
I had a long workout today, man. I'm sore as hell. I got a rest day tomorrow. I'm like, I'll have one 8-ounce drink and I'll be fine. Just one.
Yes,
Just
you
one
will.
half a bottle. It won't be a problem.
Just an entire handle. No big deal. That's
That's
fine.
it. Hey,
That's
Allie
fine.
Jean 88 wants to know how excited are you to be going to WZA so soon?
Oh my God. First of all, I can't believe it's next week. It's weird. Like I got back from travel because like you, I had like a very long drive, and it was like it's stressful and you're packing for more than one person. And I was like, I never want to leave again. And then I was like, oh my way, we travel again in 2 weeks. But now that I'm like a little more settled, I'm like so excited. And I've been looking at the roster and the lineup of individuals and teams. I don't know about you, but I am amped just as a fan to watch this competition.
I'm almost as amped about Waza as am Allie Jean's photo with this llama that she's got going on. I know people listening can't see it, but the little photo is her and a llama. It's awesome. It's
I'm
very cool.
obsessed. Is it an
Um,
alpaca?
it might be alpaca. I don't know. You got to tell us, Allie. We need to know if it's alpaca or a llama. I don't even know the difference, to be honest.
Fun
But
fact, we're getting an alpaca next year.
are you
Yeah,
for the
that's the
farm?
plan at least. Yeah, we're supposed to like build a barn in the back, and we want 2 goats and 2 alpacas. Oh, it's a llama, she
That
said.
that totally reads.
Yeah,
Oh, it's in Peru. It's
tracks.
a llama. Look at that.
You knew.
So back to your story. I'm excited about the lineup. Who are you most excited to see compete?
Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but I am most excited for the team division. And I'm most
Any
excited
special
for
team?
the Annie Thor's daughter, Katrin David's daughter,
Mm.
Mal O'Brien team. I am stoked to see 2 former champs and a future champ and how they work together. Truly.
It's an interesting team, particularly if they end up with you got to believe at some point there's going to be a worm, and
You got
Annie
to,
is
yeah.
like way up
Mhm.
here, and Mal is way down here. Like I'm dying to see what that looks like. It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
I'm stoked. It's like interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the dynamics go, right? Because Katrin and Mal obviously are both like HWPO now, and Katrin and Annie have been like besties since forever. And then, Annie has been individual for so long, but then I feel like she's got like a fire in her belly for team ever since last season did not go the way that she planned. Like she wants to stand on top of the podium as a team member or leader, however you want to look at it. And so it's going to be interesting. I don't know how it could go either way, right? Like if the programming is very team specific in that it's like you must have really great communication and you must do things like the worm as versus like, programming that's a little bit more like I go, you go, and that style, like more individualized team programming, then I think we'll see a difference between super teams like this
Right.
one and women and men who have worked together for a long time, like the Taylor Williamson, Andrea Nisler combo. I know they have Sydney McAlishan on their team this year, but like those two women are obviously time and time again proven to be the best female
Right.
team competitors in CrossFit. So it just is going to depend on a lot on what the programming looks like. But I'm truly most excited to see the team division, which I feel like I never say. The team
Well,
division is always a little like complicated to watch.
well, I think it's fun though because you've got so many groups together you've never seen together. Like the Panchek brothers will all be together. The Smith brothers will all be
So
together.
fun. So fun.
Like, I mean, how cool is that to see Ben, Alec, and Dane all out on the floor together, or
Yeah.
Saxon Spencer and Scott together? You know, like that's just cool. Yeah,
So
I'm just
cool.
kind of eyeballing this. We've got Gabby Magala, Laura Horvath, Jamie Simmons. Like
Mhm.
these are just stacked, man. Like
Yeah, insane. How about the Travis Mayer, Noah Olson, Chandler Smith team that we've seen on top of the podium already in the past? I mean,
I
there's
think
so
they have to
many.
be the favorites on the men's side, only because all those guys are good team members. Like I've kind of always thought for a long time, and I saw Chandler say this. He prefers team. Like he enjoys team over
Yeah.
individual. And I think if you enjoy it, you're clearly better at it. You know, like or you anything you enjoy, you're going to be better at. I guess is
Yeah, I
uh,
agree. And from a fan standpoint, like the athletes have more fun when they're on team. It's not that they don't take it
mhm.
as seriously, but it's like it's just a more fun atmosphere. They're a little more relaxed. There's a little less. I mean, you know that when you're on a team, there's like weirdly more pressure on you because you like don't want to totally screw it for the team, but at the same time, like you're not the only individual out there responsible for getting points or getting to the finish line. So there's a little bit of a load off there, but I don't know. It just feels like where Wodapalooza is in the season, the fact that it's kind of like the last hurrah before the season kicks off, it's a little bit less serious, a little bit less riding on it. And then you add in this new format where friends are going to be like on the same team. So it's just going to be a good
Yeah.
time.
I think
Um,
the athletes like it because it's not as hard on their body. You know,
Also
for
true.
one,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I mean, they don't get me wrong, they take it serious. Like I was talking to Alex Smith about coming to our party, and he's like, "Well, we'll come, but Riley will probably stay. But I got to go back and go to bed because I got a workout the next day." You know, and I'm
Fair.
sitting there
Fair.
going, "Come on, dude, it's a team event. What do you care? Like, stay out late and party. Come on."
I
You
mean,
know?
I get still wanting to. I mean, now we're talking about like, the clout and also a little bit of money. Like I get it. It makes total sense. But it'll be fun to watch. And to your point of kind of having it a little bit easier on their bodies, the format of like 2 days of
Mhm.
competition on the individual side and then the 2 days. I mean, taking it down from what we're used to seeing in these longer, even week long type competitions. I mean, I don't think these athletes are going to have a hard time recovering, which is why we're seeing some do both individual and team,
Right.
which is going to be so fun to watch.
You know who I'm really excited to see that I think people have forgotten about is Emma Carey.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she is
Yeah.
not only is she just the sweetest kid, I think she's a future games champion.
Oh, for
And,
sure.
she's been rehabbing and fixing her back and training hard. And like people haven't been thinking of, she doesn't post a lot of stuff social, on social, she's not like I know, there are some that like every day, if they break wind wrong, they're posting it, like Emma just doesn't do that. Like she just kind of puts her head down and works,
Yeah,
and
for
so I'm
sure.
really, really interested to see what she's been working on and how that applies. I think she's going to do great for
Yeah,
sure.
let me give you my like tops for women
Ooh, let's
just to
go.
start.
Do it.
Okay. So I'm putting my chips on our girl Danny. And not just because we love her so much, because I do love her so much, but because I think that she's ready for it. She's healthy. And I think that Wodapalooza is traditionally a really good event for her, right? There's a lot of like high skill gymnastic stuff. There's a lot of showy, like upside down on your hand stuff that she crushes. And there's also a lot of heavy stuff, which she moves well with the 2 day competition and with the way that Wodapalooza is typically
Yep.
formatted with being in the water and then being sort of like, running out and picking up weights or whatever. There's not usually like a long run or long cardio event for her to get buried under. So I think that there's a ton of potential for her. And I would not be surprised also to see Miss Emily Rolfe on the podium because she has just come back with an insane fire in her belly from the surgery that she had at games, from the blood clot, from the fact that she even, finished the
Yeah.
event after having a blood clot in her arm, finished the event, couldn't feel her hand, but like went on to do like chest to bar, toes to bar. And then like the next day after surgery was back at the Alliant Energy Center being like, "Oh, are you sure I can't
Right.
keep working out?" And she podiumed in Dubai. So like, yeah, I think she could come back and stand on top of the podium. And then, I mean, there's so many women, including Emma Carey, including Emma Tall, including Paige Powers, Livy Kerstetter, these young women who could really come up
Mhm.
and show the third spot on the podium what a team can do, or someone that at least came up through the team division. So I think that is really open to any of those younger ladies too.
I feel like we've developed so many relationships with all these people. I have a hard time making predictions anymore. I feel bad
Yeah.
about that. Like you exchange messages with somebody like, because I'll just say it like, I don't think Danny's going to win. And I love Danny. Like if she were my own kid, I think like when I start comparing some of these names, I think if Emma Carey brings her A game, she's got a better shot than Danny does.
Mhm.
But again, any given day, anybody can win. So it's like, I feel bad, like, as you develop relationships, you're like, "I want you to win, but I'm not sure you're gonna," you know?
I
Like,
know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you
it's
mean.
I don't know, it's just, like that's why I honestly don't love competitive CrossFit. I like the people. I don't give a shit
Mm.
about who wins. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't care. Like, it's fun to watch. I would love to see Danny win. I'd love to see Emma win. I'd love to see Emma Tall win, Paige Powers, like, these are all great people, you know?
I like both. I like the people. I don't feel bad making predictions because it's not an attack on anyone's character. It's just looking at like skill or data or past statistics or anything along those
Sure.
lines. And it's I try to be kind of subjective, which is why I don't have Sarah in my mind as someone who I expect to see on the podium, even though, like you said, I love her. I love her to pieces. I think she's one of the truly one of the best people in the sport. She's just lovely and down to earth and sweet and real.
I wouldn't know.
Um,
She's never been on the show. I'm not picking her until she
also
comes on the
true.
show.
Also true. But she hasn't been healthy in a while. She's had injuries that have kept her back, and it's really unfortunate to say. I don't know if she's going to be back or ready, or what her training has looked like or anything up to this point. So I want to see her succeed, but I'm not sure. I just have nothing to go off of,
I
you
do what
know.
I do love about these events is being there live, and why would anyone listening or watching? I would really suggest if you haven't gone to a live event or you've never been to Wodapalooza or a semis, you should go. And here's why: I don't know Sarah Sigmund's daughter at all. I've never met her in any capacity. I know her agent, and we've been begging him to get her on the show. Snorri, for the love of God, book her on the show. But besides that, I was at Wodapalooza a couple of years ago, and somebody got me out onto the floor at the end when they were doing interviews, like asking questions of the athletes. I'm like, "Oh, you're pressed. Come back." I'm like, "I'm not pressed." They're like, "Yeah, you are. Come on, let's go."
Oh, you're press.
Yeah. And so they got me on the floor, and I happened to be down there when Sarah came out, and fans were just like going crazy, going, "Can I get an autograph?" And she could not have been sweeter and
Mhm.
kinder. And like literally every person that asked for something, she stopped and took a photo. And like she's holding cameras out for people, and you could just see like this is someone, like when they go 3 2 1 go, she gets that game face and she works her ass off. She works really hard. She seems super intense, but when someone stops her, she was just like super kind and sweet. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about the community
Yeah.
and the athletes, is that you see who they are as people.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
when I
and
think people should go, so you can see
I
that.
totally agree. And I think to her credit and to a lot of other athletes' credit, because most of them are really like that, and not all of them have won at that point. I mean, she
Yeah.
had a rough year last year where I think she had to pull out after like a couple events, right? Because she
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
that injury. So she obviously had a rough weekend. This did not turn out the way that she wanted it to. And she could have just been really upset and gone home and whatever, but she still went out there and did that. And most of the athletes do and really offer themselves up like that. So I commend them for all of that.
Yeah. I think everyone should go. if they
Yeah.
haven't. And this year's cool because you have, you look at like Dubai as an example. You did not have all of the top athletes in one place. And this, on the men's side, you got Ricky Garrard, Koski's going to be there.
Mhm.
And I know some of these people are team and some are individual, but you have all the Panchaks, just Roman Krenikov is going to be there.
Mhm.
Like the chance to see these guys do this in person is so different than watching on a live stream. Like you had always raved to be about Roman, and I'd always rolled my eyes at it.
I know.
Always, like, because I'd never seen him live. I'm like, all right, he's just another athlete. Like, who gives a shit? Like, he's just lifting heavy weight and he runs quick. And then you see him in person, you're like, holy crap, this guy
Mhm.
is impressive. And not only is he impressive, but that same kind of aura I'm talking about, where he's just grateful,
Yes.
just completely grateful and happy and joyful and all the things I love about the community, and so I think getting to see that and seeing all these, people, men and women under one roof or, in one event, you're not going to get that very often, you know.
I have Roman at the top of the podium.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I do. I think, like, some combo of Roman, Bellner, Gerard, I really think makes a lot of sense. But at
Well,
the same time, like, there's a couple athletes who have historically done well at WZA and also who I just feel like are kind of due. They're due for a podium. Fikowski is due for a podium. Yona's due for a podium.
well, Pat,
Dallin Pepper,
come on,
you know what I
Pat
mean? Like,
owns Miami though,
I know, but
right?
I feel like the games this past year gave Roman some confidence that he was lacking as far as playing with the big dogs. Like, he was never, like, not a confident athlete, and he had done really well historically around the world in Dubai and areas like that. But I don't know, walking out into the competition for finally at the games for the first time after so many years of qualifying and not being able to go and just crushing, I think I think is going to make it so that he truly believes he belongs and can start taking the leadership role from some other people.
See, I kind of say this about every event. Until you lose, until somebody takes your title, it's yours to keep. And I
Okay,
think
that's fair.
Vellner's the man. I'm literally sitting here about to send him a message asking what sunblock I should wear in Miami because he should know. If anyone should know, it's the Ginge, right?
I can tell you what I'm packing for Matt.
Perfect.
You need blue lizard.
I told somebody today I was going to go get some of that zinc oxide and just put it all over my body
That's
until
basically what blue lizard is.
yeah. We were joking about it at the gym. Someone's like, "Are you ready for the gauntlet?" And I'm like, "I'm not ready for 80-degree sunshine. Look at me. Like in this lighting, I look moderately tan, but if I were in real lighting that wasn't this yellow light that I've fabricated here, I would look pasty AF." And I'm like, I might combust. So I
Well,
need to,
you
and so I
see,
said, I'm like, I should message Vellner and ask him what he uses because that dude is a ginge. Like he's got it going on. Like, and he's been down
you'll
there winning every year. He just came back from Belize for God's sakes. Like,
dang.
yeah, he loves the islands.
You gonna, like, work out in a rash guard, or
I might,
you might need to.
I might.
I know.
I should get one of those hats that has like the neck thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like fly
I
fishing
know.
you,
Yeah,
like a cape.
my baby wears those. You
Yeah,
should
yeah.
probably wear those
I
too.
should totally get a hat with a cape. That would be the best.
Yes, 100%. I think that we could start a new trend, a new fashion
Can you
trend.
imagine the photos that would come out of that?
Yes.
No, that's
No, a hat with
no.
a cape and just nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no. No, 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 no.
Well, anyway, I'm excited.
I'm excited about our party.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. We can talk about it. It's at Downtown Strength and Fitness, Downtown Strength and Conditioning, which is in downtown Miami. It's just like a couple blocks from the venue. It's gonna be Saturday night from 7 to 10 p.m. Just show up at this point. Everyone is RSVP'd. Technically, it's sold out. We will get you in. We'll find a
Just come.
way.
Just
I was
come.
talking to Jessica, who owns the place. And I said to her, I'm like, "Hey, are we going to be in danger with the fire marshal?" She's like, "Well, he's already RSVP'd and he's a member here, so I think we're good." so, so I think we're
Epic.
set. But we're gonna have we'll have a DJ. Two Pood will be there. O2 is going to be there. and I think Noco may be there, and we'll have all the liquor to fill those drinks with.
Epic.
And she was shooting me messages today of all the basic B drinks. We're gonna have High Noon and White Claw and all that stuff, and
Yes,
as
yes,
well as
yes,
liquor.
yes.
And we'll have Miami themed merch from Two Food for our
Fun.
podcast.
Yes.
And there's going to be some athletes there, maybe some friends of the show, unnamed. We're not going to say who, but there will be a
Question mark,
few.
question mark, question mark.
And yeah, it's going to be fun.
And now we need to find someone to babysit my kid so that my husband can come.
And bring him. Just bring the baby. The baby's famous. Come on, it'll be great.
That is absolutely baby bedtime.
Oh, true.
I know. I need to find someone to babysit, at least for like the after party, because I felt really bad this year in Madison that we did not go to the after party, and Matt like has never had that experience because we have a 1-year-old. So I'm gonna get creative and be like, does someone want to just like sit in my hotel room with a sleeping baby? It'll be fine. I'll be
Well,
back in a few hours.
I'm excited
NPD.
for a number of reasons. Number one, just to see so many people under one roof.
I know.
We're going to have actual photographers there. So this will be the first time you and I have real photos together.
I will believe it when I
Ever.
see it. I'm not holding my breath.
I messaged one of the photographers myself, but there's going to be at least 3 there that I know of. So we'll get some real photos. And like I said, we'll have some friends that have been on the show before be there and getting photos with them. I'm like, dude, we just don't get to see these people in person very often. So I'm just
No,
like, I'm so excited.
It feels like Christmas. It really does. Like truly seeing people who we love, who we only have a chance to see 1 or 2 times a year, who we talk to online all the time. Like it's going to be really lovely. And honestly, like meeting listeners of the show in person is always the highlight of my games experience every year because I just forget, like I truly forget that people listen to this who aren't our moms. And then they'll be like, "Oh, hey, like I listened to this episode and I want to talk to you about this thing." And it's so awesome. And it's like my absolute favorite part of what we do. Like I even sometimes like that more than the broadcast stuff, honestly.
Well,
I just say that
so
out loud.
if you're someone that shows up to this thing and you have DM'd me before, I'm just going to tell you right up front, don't refer to yourself in your actual name. Just tell me what your screen name is on Instagram and I will likely remember. That's my superpower. Like I'm not good at remembering actual names. I mean, here's how bad it is, Nikki. When I go to text you on just my phone, like not a DM, a text, I usually start typing in reporter Nicole.
Stop it. Really?
Yeah, because like my brain, I'm on Instagram so often, and that's where people normally message me that I'm used to messaging their screen name, not their actual name,
Right.
And it's just like
How funny.
ingrained that way,
Well,
So if anyone that meets me, come to me as your screen name, and I should know who you are.
that's wild.
I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
so
so
dumb.
excited. This is going to be so much fun. And
And
also like I have a lot of like Miami to make up for because this time last year I had to cancel last minute going and working at the event and being on the broadcast because COVID was so bad and Omicron was being really like scary when it came to babies. Do you remember this? It was like 3 days before we were supposed to leave and I called my pediatrician asking about sunscreen because the baby was only 5 months old and you're like not supposed to put sunscreen on kids until they're 6 months old. But I was like, remember how we're going to Miami and like you cleared it and whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, you can't go. Like, you're not bringing a baby on a plane. And I was like, what?
The times are changing, Nikki.
Awful. I know. Thank God. I'm
Now
so happy.
they're like, you could cough right in his face. We don't care. You're fine.
Exactly. NBD. Oh my gosh. But Matt and I got our COVID boosters yesterday and I felt like dog shit all day today. It was
I am not getting mine. I swear to God, I'm not doing it. I'm done.
We were late. We were late to the game. And for weeks we had been like, we just got to go. But then holidays and everything was crazy. And finally I was like, we're about to get on a plane again. Like we should go before we go to Miami. So
I've gotten sick twice on 2 trips this year and I'm done with boosters. I tell you what, I am taking though a shit ton of vitamin C, like vitamin C, vitamin D. I have so much citrus in my fridge right now, Nikki. I look like I live in an island. Like it's all pineapple and oranges. And I'm living on that stuff and I'm just building my natural immunity, man. I'm like, we don't need to rile up a big COVID debate here, but man, I'm just like, after that last illness, I'm like, nobody could tell me what it was. So you're not shooting me up with something until you can tell me what I had. Like,
Well, if it wasn't COVID, then maybe your vaccines have been working.
well, maybe, they tested me for everything. It was literally all negative. They're like, it's just a mystery virus. I'm like, all right,
Well,
what
yeah,
the
we
hell?
have those too.
Yeah,
Humankind has those too. I'm just
apparently.
trying to avoid the ones that we know about.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you for that. Well, I'm just excited we're all going to be together.
Same. I
And
can't wait.
let me give a huge shout out to Jessica at Downtown Strength, who has put this
Yes.
party on for us, Nikki. Like, she quite literally said to me, she's like, I hope Waza's not mad. I think this party's going to be better than the after party. I'm like, okay, well, maybe Waza needs a midweek party and an after party. They didn't even know they needed it, but now they get it.
Now they get it. Thanks
Now
to
they get it.
Jessica.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I'm
It's
so
going to be great.
excited.
Hey, we were going to talk about New Year resolutions. Then you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
I do. I really want to talk about like New Year's resolutions and how I'm kind of feeling like resolutions are being attacked.
Oh,
Yeah.
school me.
Well, I guess the vibe that I've been feeling lately in like online on social media and the people I follow and the podcasts I listen to and whatever is kind of a focus on you don't need this new year, new you mentality, which that I agree with, but like you don't necessarily need to set a resolution at the beginning of the year. You should kind of have all goals year round, or maybe you don't even need goals anymore because like you're great the way that you are and like all this stuff. It's almost like taboo to say that you have a New Year's resolution. Like that's kind of the way I've been feeling lately.
Yeah, I get that.
And I just feel like for me, I still really like the idea of a New Year's resolution, or I like the idea of January 1st being a time to reflect and reset. And I don't know, I find it really interesting that we always like go from one side of the scale to the other. The pendulum swings big. For so long it was like Jan 1, do all these things, set all these goals, do all this whatever. And now I feel like the vibe is very much like don't ever set a goal because you don't want to hold yourself to anything or
Right.
you don't want to go crazy trying to achieve it and put everything else on the back burner. And I'm just like, I personally am not ashamed to say that this is a great time for me to think about myself. And I haven't for a while. Like I've said this a million times in the show, like Q4 is always really busy for me. And I do not have any time to focus on myself, on the things that I want to do, on the goals that I want to achieve, and even just on like, I don't know, eating 3 meals a day. Like it's just my life is too busy around the holidays and it just is what it is. So I really like this time to set a goal and to figure out what I want for myself in life, in this year, in the next 5, 10 years, whatever. And I'm not holding myself to any sort of weird, unrealistic standard, but it's still okay to say that I want specific things and I want to set goalposts and mile markers to achieve them. And I'm also not ashamed to say that one of my goals is like an aesthetic one. I do think that diet culture sucks and I think that it's really hard to be a woman in society and we talk about like women and their bodies all the time, but I think there's a balance between all of that kind of icky stuff and also saying like, hey, I've just kind of been like neglecting my nutrition for a few months as I should because holiday cookies and cocktails are the best. But like, I'm not ashamed to be like, I want to focus on my nutrition for performance and for looks and for how I feel. And I do. And so I don't know, I'm just kind of in this weird place where I have a bunch of things that I want to do as I focus on myself again and reset and shift my mindset from being really busy and being really worried about work and about my family and about taking care of everything for everyone else around the holidays to shifting to myself and
Right.
being like, I got some goals and I want some things to happen. I want to achieve some stuff and just not being like berated for, I don't know, being in the goal culture. I like the goal culture, I guess.
The people that are berating it, are these podcasts you're listening to or just talking heads you're hearing on Instagram, TikTok, wherever?
Both. Both, actually. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I find personally, like, I get annoyed at social media because there's such an abundance of people that are like, 3 tips to have a better back squat, 3 tips to fix your nutrition, the
Yeah.
3 things you need to do to make Tex-Mex. It's so just all stupid, Seriously,
Number
like,
1,
yeah,
salsa.
5 ways to trick your man into Tex-Mex. That's exactly what it's like. I'm right.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
completely right. And those people I just drown out because they're just BS. Like they're just scam artists. Like there's no real content there. You're just like, you're gonna be 5 tips, like with no real context. You're just gonna throw something in my face and tell me I got to do this, So
Yeah.
I don't know, but if it's podcasts or shows or people you trust and normally listen to, then I would say maybe challenge yourself to, think of if you trust this person and they're telling you something that you don't agree with, ask yourself why. And if you're still in the camp of, well, I like doing it, then do it.
Yeah. I
If
think that I just think that there's, like I said, that there's been like too much of a shift or too much of a focus on the opposite direction where I think that like hustle culture has shown us that we're putting aside our, I don't know, like personal benefit to get to these goals. And I don't agree with that. But I do think that there's an in between.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
live in that in between, and I'm, like, actually really excited to, like, get a handle on my nutrition, to, like, focus on myself a little bit and do some, like, solo me things this year because I haven't really had a chance to do that in 17 months. And you know what my big goal is this year?
What's
My
that?
big goal is sharing the mental load in my relationship. Like sharing I don't know how to best describe this, but,
Oh, it
like,
describes it pretty good.
do you think, like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
and
yeah, I
it's
get that.
almost a little bit of a traditional gender role, right? Where, like, Matt will, like, take out all the garbage, and he does most of the stuff around the house, like laundry and dishes and stuff like that, but, like, I carry the mental load in the, like, planning all of our things,
Mhm.
thinking ahead, like, booking the thing or buying the gift for the person by the time we get there for the party, and, like, sharing the mental load in order to make space in my mind for my own self-care is gonna be, like, a big part of moving forward because now that we have a kid and if we have more kids in the future, like, there's just more people to think ahead for.
Right.
And I just need to start with little things like, "Hey, can you, like, book this so I can do that?" And, of course, he's down. He's totally down.
Well,
Why
if you
wouldn't he
want
be?
advice from the divorced guy,
Bring it on.
yeah, relationship advice from John. You go 3 things you shouldn't do. That's what we should we should make
3
that the
things to avoid divorce and Tex-Mex.
three things you should avoid. Number one is relationship advice from John Woolley. Um, no, I like the only thing I would tell you, I think that's a great thing to aspire toward, to say, all
Yeah.
right, I want to share the mental load. I would tell you, you guys should sit down and say, what do you want to keep and what do you want to lose? Because some guys
Ooh.
like some traditional gender roles. Like, as an example, I like to mow the yard.
Yeah.
And for the record, I'm going to make some assumptions for females because I know plenty of females. There are some that don't like things that are traditional male gender roles, like mowing the
Mhm.
yard or taking
Yeah,
out the trash. Like some of that,
totally.
you may want to keep. So I think those are things you should talk about and say, hey, what do you want to keep? What do you want to lose? What do you not care about? Like,
Yeah.
don't just assume that Matt likes to take out the garbage. You
Oh
know,
my god, can I tell you a side story about why I no longer ever have to take out the garbage?
I'd love to hear this. Yes.
Okay, you know how I'm, like, really afraid of bugs?
Hmm.
Okay, so one time, this was years ago in the old house, I went to go take the trash out, and I, like, grabbed the handle, and I, like, stuck my hand under the handle, and I felt something weird, and I had squished a bug under one of my long ass fancy nails.
Nice.
And I, like, slowly pulled my hand out from under the thing, and I, like, looked, and there were just, like, little legs sticking out from one of
Oh.
my nails, and I screamed, and I shook my hand so hard that I lost feeling in my fingertips.
I
And
love
from
it.
that point on, Matt said I never had
Yep.
to take the garbage out ever again.
No more taking the trash out.
Oh my god. No, but you're 100% right. And I think that I don't want to give up the majority of it because of the 2 of us, I am the planner and I like that. I like being type A, I like having control, I like whatever. But I make the mistake of not asking for help and then getting way overwhelmed. And that's on me.
Yeah.
That's not like Matt forcing me to do everything. That's me being like, "Oh my god, I had a million things to plan and I never asked for help and now I'm behind." So sharing the mental load for me just means like literally asking for help and maybe even maybe even having a conversation about the things that I am doing because there's maybe stuff I'm planning or stuff that's taking up my brain space that he doesn't even know about because I've never said it out loud. So just being more communicative about that in general because I feel like if I have less to think about and less that's bogging down my brain, then I'll be able to make space for some more stuff that really makes me happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Those are good goals. I have no
Um,
goals for
I was gonna
2023.
say
None. No,
zero.
I shouldn't say I have none. Ben and I talked about this a little on the show last night, but I plan to stay sexy. I think that's a good goal to have.
Absolutely.
Um,
What does
you know,
that mean to you? What does sexy mean to John Woolley?
yeah, I actually don't know for me. One thing I've been thinking about recently since I started this whole Wodapalooza training back in August is how much progress I've made in the 4 months. Like, what would happen if I just continued my consistency for a year?
Hmm.
Which isn't a goal. It's just like I'm already living this way. Why do I have to stop? Why is there always some sort of, all right, I have this 3-month goal. We'll be really fit for this competition or for beach season or I've got a wedding I got to go to or whatever. Why don't you just live this way all the time? What would you see in a year? Now, the analogy I gave to Ben is like if I gave you one of these guitars and said, all right, Nick, you take this guitar home and 2 weeks from now, I want you to be able to play this song and I'm going to show you how to play it. You're not going to be very good. But if I gave it to you and said, all right, 10 years from now, we're going to circle back to this and you're going to practice every day for 10 years, how good would you be? You'd
Mm,
be freaking phenomenal. Right. So
yeah.
that's the question is like, if I can change my body comp or my weight or strength or whatever I've done in the last 4 months, what would it be like 5 years from now?
Mhm.
If I could just stay on that track and just make this, it's just lifestyle, and be comfortable with that being my lifestyle. And so for me, like that's all I'm thinking about for 2023 is like, can I, dedicate myself to just kind of staying in this routine, which I'm very happy in, and not reverting back to, hey, DoorDash looks good tonight, you know. Yeah,
I think if you're happy in your routine, then the answer is yes, it can absolutely be a lifestyle for you. I think where people get caught up is they put an end date on it, like this comp or like the end of the summer or whatever, because people oftentimes dive into lifestyles like that or changes in nutrition like that are so extreme that they cannot be maintained. But you seem to have found your stride in something that you are comfortable with and happy with. And I think having a goal, like for example, like having Wodapalooza 2 weeks away and not eating a single biscuit when you were home, like that's the marker of a very distinct goal. But if this was your lifestyle and you were kind of just like this 24/7 and you didn't necessarily have a linchpin moment that you
sure.
needed to be a certain way for, then you probably could stand to be a tiny bit more lax, but still very happy in your routine.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would have
And
definitely
I
had the
say,
biscuit.
hell yeah. Well, yeah, you would have had a biscuit. But I
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
hell yeah, John. Like if you're happy and comfortable and you found a routine that works for you and you didn't dive into it being like, oh my God, I'm only eating 1 grain of rice for the next 7 weeks. I can't like
Right.
sustain this. Like, and then you binge after, which we also know is not the right way at it. Then I say, hell yeah. See what
Yeah.
a year brings you.
And then yeah, I don't know. Other than that, like I felt like kind of in the end of last year, I've been trying to be more cognizant of the content I'm taking in, you know, um, what I'm looking at, what I'm listening to, and I'm trying to find more things that challenge me to think differently, like not just sticking within, the people I like, but like finding stuff and going, all right, well, what's this guy, whoever it may be, I may or may not like them, but what are they really saying? And what are my thoughts and opinions on it?
Mm.
Like, just trying to challenge my own personal growth that way and just continuing to do that. I think is important. I think it'll help me as an affiliate owner, because it's obviously a very diverse group of people that, you're trying to lead and manage. And I think it'll help me at my job where I'm managing obviously a very diverse team. And then, obviously these two podcasts and a bazillion memes, so
All
not
the
to mention,
memes.
trying to raise two daughters somewhere along the way.
Oh
So
my God. We don't have enough time for any of this. I suddenly feel like there's too much stuff happening in 2023.
I don't though.
Uh,
That's the thing. Like, I don't feel like it's all too much. Like, I like the volume of it. I enjoy, kind of all of this and getting to help people and raise my daughters and but it is a lot. I just have to be better organized.
yeah. Do
Just
you
try.
have any business goals like for the affiliate now that you're in this new role?
Oh yeah. course. It's funny. There's the dreamer in me, the creator that wants to do everything. And then
Mm.
there's the banker in me that's meeting with my partners yesterday going, we can't buy equipment right now because we're heading into a recession and we need to
Right.
stockpile cash. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yep. Put all any excess cash goes into a savings account at least until June, until we can figure out what this recession is going to look like.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, um, probably the best way I can describe it, I want to create and help build a fun place for people to get away from their problems. I want to help cure chronic disease and help people live longer and have healthier, happier lives and smile more and laugh more and enjoy what they're doing and look forward to going to that place, not dread going in to get on the assault bike, although that's going to happen some.
Mm.
Want them to feel good about what it is and feel good about community. So I anticipate us doing more community events. We're going to do more charitable giving. We're going to invest heavily into our adaptive community, into the young people. I think those are the things that are really important. And then obviously invest into the quality of the actual classes. Like those are probably the main benchmarks. If Jen, I don't know if Jen's watching, but she probably will at some point. So if I'm saying something wrong, she can chime in here. But I think those are the big things for us. Like if we can do that and, provide a great experience for people, why would they ever leave?
Yeah.
And truthfully, it's giving me a family. Like, I mean, I have my family, right? But it is giving me a community to be a part of and to spend time with and get to know and invest in them. And that means a lot to me. So
Love that. And it's been
yeah.
a while since you've had that because you were kind of like gym to gym and then home for a lot of the pandemic and gyms closed. And I know you've been really trying to find that home.
It's a cool community. I mean, right now, all I'm doing, like this week, I'm literally just sitting in on classes and just working out next to gym members. Like I was there yesterday, today, just side by side with doing the same workout everybody else is doing and trying to see what it looks like and what are people experiencing. And all that stuff I'm describing, I'm seeing lots of smiles, lots of happy
Mm.
people, lots of talking before and after the workout and great coaching. And, it's really cool, so it's already rewarding, but I'd like to see us build it out and make it bigger.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, and then, all the prestige of being an affiliate owner, like getting
Oh,
to
yeah.
unclog toilets and scrub floors and buy chalk,
Oh, wow.
all the fun stuff.
Nobody
So,
talks about all that.
yeah, well, yeah, that's the fun stuff. Well, like, yeah, we were just doing a workout out there on Sunday and I get on the rower and it doesn't work. The monitors work. And I'm like, I
Mm.
yell at Jen. I'm like, who buys this crappy equipment? What's going on here?
She's like, "This is your gym, John."
I'm like, what the hell? Like before I just
Uh,
yell at you, now I got to actually do something about this shit. This is
uh-huh.
dumb.
We have a rower at our gym that's been broken for a while, and, oh my god, there's, like, a sign on it that says, like, "Sad and broken." Someone just, like, wrote it on a piece of paper and stuck
Right.
it on, and then someone went up to the sign and wrote, "Same, rower, same."
Yeah, same rowers, same. Great
Sad
acronym.
and broken.
We
Oh,
have a
man.
couple of assault bikes that have more KT tape on them than a masters athlete. Like it's ridiculous. They are all taped up. I've told Jen, I'm like, we got to replace some of these bikes, man. They are in bad
Yeah.
shape and it's not a good look, you know.
Mhm.
You
But
know,
after the recession.
well, I mean, the recession's a real thing.
I
I'm
know. Yeah.
like, I'm telling you, like, we spend a lot of time talking to analysts and getting info on what's going on. And I can read the tea leaves. Like I see what our budget looks like for this year and what they're asking us to sell. And it's a very real thing. So it's, personally, I mean, I'll be as real as I can be here. Like I'm putting money into savings to make sure Meg has zero issues with college and I don't have to
Yeah.
dip into credit and anything else. Like any money I can put away right now, I'm putting away as opposed to buying more guitars. It's like,
Yeah. I would be doing that if my house wasn't a money pit.
well, that's
Ugh.
okay too. I mean, look, everyone's at different stages of their lives. I mean, I think that's, I don't think this is going to be a ridiculous recession like, we maybe saw in 2008 when the housing
Yeah.
bubble burst, but it's enough that I think just going to pause for a bit and say, hey, let's give it a few months and see what
Makes
happens to
sense.
interest rates.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense.
But
Ugh, God, adulting is so hard.
it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Oh, can I tell you one more goal that I'm going to work on this
Yes.
year? I'm
Cool.
going to work on prioritizing sleep.
Oh, that's a good one. I've gotten good at that.
Yeah. I know. I could really use some advice because I have got to get out of the mindset of like, "Ooh, it's 9:30. I can watch another episode." You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I need to, like, at 9 be like, "All right, I need to start moving toward bed so that at 9:30 I can be in my bed." And I would love to get back into the habit of just, like, opening a book for a few minutes instead of scrolling on my phone right before I shut my eyes. So, that's what I say, but it's been tough, especially over
Right.
break, right? When I was, like, not doing a lot of work and we were kinda home and the trees are on and the fires are going. You just wanna, like, sit in the living room and watch something for a while.
Yep.
It's really hard to peel yourself off the couch and go to bed, but
All
I
right, here you
need
go.
to.
Top 3 tips for better sleep.
Bring it on. Top 3
All
tips
right.
for better sleep, no divorce, and Tex-Mex.
I
Go.
can't vouch for Tex-Mex, but I can talk about sleep. We talk about this
Okay.
Tom and I talk about this all the time. Tom's a partner in the gym. He's a doctor. He's a CrossFit doctor. He rails about this shit, and he's going to yell at me because I'm going to get some of it wrong. The first thing he would tell you is morning sun. Get up in the morning
Yeah,
and
I know,
get
I know.
morning sun. Now,
Matt and the baby do this. They do it
yeah,
together.
so you don't have to have, as an example, you don't have to go outside. You could get a UV light. So you could buy an alarm clock that's UV light, but you need to get 15 minutes or so of morning sun. You're going to reset those rhythms in your body that's going to tell you to go to sleep earlier at the end of the day. It's important to get morning sun.
Mm.
I'm not really good at the morning sun thing. I'm going to give you full disclosure. It's not my jam. Tom swears by it. He also goes outside with his shirt off when it's cold out. You don't have to do that, Nikki, but he swears by that too. So I
Maybe it'd
think
be
those are
good for my
important.
nips.
Yeah, maybe. You might sleep. Matt probably wouldn't. So you could, the other thing is you got to cut off caffeine early enough in the day that it's not going to impact you. That's usually around noon or 2, no later
Okay,
than 2.
I can
But
do that.
you got to cut off caffeine relatively early.
Okay.
That's important. You need a consistent bedtime. I know you're going to hate that, but you need a
Ooh.
consistent. And I've started doing this, and I found it makes a huge difference. If you have one bedtime that you go to every single night, your body gets in a rhythm when it knows you're getting your
Yeah.
morning sun and that bedtime. It's like, all
What's your
right,
bedtime?
time to go to
What's your
sleep.
bedtime?
About 9:30
Okay.
or so. Right now,
But
it's actually
what time do you wake up?
it depends. Lately, I've been trying to wake up around 8 a.m.
Yeah.
But on the days I work, it's usually more like 7.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's okay,
like
so I can do that.
10 to 7 is a really good window for me. If I can be in bed by 9:30, asleep by 10, wake up at 7, that's a lot for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be. Um,
You have to get 7 hours or more.
okay.
That's the key. Like you got to find, and then I also, there's some supplements that will help. Like I take Third Z. They do not sponsor this podcast. They do sponsor my other one, full disclosure. I have a code. If anybody wants it, I'll give it to you later. Um, but I swear by it, it's got magnesium in it, which for me is like
Yep.
kind of the big thing I need at night to help me sleep.
Yep. Yeah, I
I
take
do not take
magnesium too.
melatonin. I don't take
Me
that at
either.
all. But magnesium helps me. Zinc helps me. Like,
Yep.
there are some supplements that you kind of need to,
Yep. I'm on a solid supplement routine. Matt's got me on all the things.
yeah.
Um,
And then
the
outside of that,
timing I gotta work on.
yeah, outside of that, like, there are a few other things you could look at, like, how late you're eating before you go to bed. But for me, like the two big ones for me, I think are important are regular bedtime, no caffeine, and the third one would be morning sun. Like if you can do
Yeah.
those, that's where I would start. Probably the only other thing I would tell you that I've also done this is you have to have a sleep zone. Like my bedroom is dark AF. Like I've got the
Yeah.
blackout curtains,
Yep.
blackout blinds, super comfy. Like I went all in on the bed, perform a sleep bed, not sponsored also.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I
Matt got me a
tried.
really
Damn, I
bougie
tried.
eye mask for Christmas. It's like
Yeah.
real
Like,
bougie. It's got like pillows right around your eyes, and we have blackout
yep.
curtains, and I have all the things. Like I am well prepared. I just need to get my ass into bed.
Oh, here's the other
And
one.
like,
Here we go. Allie Jean's coming in, reminding me you got to work on
yes,
not sitting on your phone or laptop in bed. Tom would tell you
yes,
you got to cut that off an hour or so before you go to bed. Like most people read, and that's okay. You got to get rid of the blue light,
yeah,
computers, laptops, phones, iPads, whatever. ditch them.
But Allie
And
Jean is right. Like, this is absolutely my crutch is like, I get into bed and I want to scroll because, like, it's how I relax and shut my brain off. And I don't really have a ton of time during the day. And it's fun. And
yep,
that is totally, it kills me because I will scroll for like 20 minutes. Now I'm like half an hour past the time that I really wanted to go to bed. And like, my sleep is so broken. It's awful. It's been almost a year and a half of not sleeping more than 3 to 4 hours at a time because the baby still wakes up 1 to 2 times a night, which we are also working on. And I'm working on night weaning, and that's like a whole nother thing. I could do another hour on it. But like the reality is like I haven't slept in a year and a half.
just
And
give him
it's
Benadryl. It'll be
killing
fine.
me.
Don't do
If
that.
only if
Don't do
that
that.
worked, I would do it
Don't
every
do that.
night. I thought about doing it on the flight down to Miami because I don't know
Yeah.
how I'm gonna fly with a toddler now that he runs.
It'll be
He
fine.
does not sit still, and I am screwed.
The other thing you got to cut out at night is alcohol, and I'm a bad example of that tonight, but it will absolutely hurt your sleep. I'm not going to get
Does
much
it?
sleep
Because
in Miami. Oh
but
yeah,
it sometimes helps me fall asleep.
well, yeah, it does, and it will knock you out. But what it's killing is REM sleep. So I don't know the exact science behind this, but I was just reading something on it the other day. So everyone's going to, so someone that knows, either come in the comments or just forgive me
Send
for
us a
getting it
message.
wrong. But let's just say I'm going to use a bad example. If you're not drinking, you're going to get 2 to 3 hours of REM sleep a night. So I'm thinking it's like 2, if I remember right. If you drink, depending on how many you have, if you have like one drink, you're going to have an hour. If you have 2 drinks or more, it's like 15 minutes.
No
And
shit.
it's that REM sleep that makes you recover. That's where all the magic happens. And that's why alcohol is so bad. It's like I'm giving up my REM sleep tonight for this one drink. Um, but that's the key, and that's why alcohol is bad. It shuts off those, the things that are
Yeah.
firing in your head that you need to recover, shuts it off. It's not a good thing.
I know. I guess I just sometimes it depends on what your particular like crux is. And sometimes for me, most of the time for me, it's falling asleep. And so sometimes though, I feel like it helps me actually fall asleep versus just like lay there with my
Yeah.
eyes shut, being like, fall asleep, fall asleep, fall asleep for like an hour.
I think this is a good example of what we're talking about earlier, though, about consistency. Like,
Yeah.
we all, you, me, all of us would beat ourselves up going, oh, I don't sleep well. Whereas if you could just go from, I don't know how many hours you're getting a night now, but let's say you're getting 5 or 6. If you could inch that up to 6 to 7 for a
Yeah.
while and then inch it up from 7 to 8, it's no different than all the other stuff we do in the gym. And that's what I've had to do. Like, I was sleeping arguably 5.5 hours a night, and now I'm closer to 7 or 8, but it's taken me a year to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't know why we don't give ourselves that grace. We do it in the gym. You don't expect to come in and squat 200 more pounds than you did yesterday. But like for some reason, it's like if you're not in bed for 8 hours, you're all of a sudden like, well, screw it. And tonight's shot.
Oh, this is why Megan Moran came in and said, season 3, Jack Ryan, no sleep
No
this week.
sleep
And
this
she's
week.
right. Totally right. That's a great show. Um, totally great show. But you're right. Like, we don't give
Yeah.
ourselves that grace, and we should,
No. Yeah,
so
we
give
should.
yourself some grace, and don't, the reality is you're in a different season right now, Nikki. Like, my kids sleep 24/7. They're college
Jealous.
students. Like, they are always sleeping. It's so, like, I have that advantage. Your baby's not sleeping. Like, there's nothing you
Nope.
can do about it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you just go, all right, you do the best you can for the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I can do about it is I can get myself to bed earlier because I know that my sleep is going to be broken, and I
Yeah.
haven't been doing that. So that's on my list. It's on my goal list, my to-do list for 2023 is just like inch my way into bed sooner because I know that I'm probably not going to be in bed for 8 hours without moving. So
Do you have any podcast goals for the year? Anything you want me working on or you think we should do?
I haven't really thought about it. My just like gut reaction when you ask me that is just keep on keeping on because I feel like we've, I don't know, we've got like great listeners and a wonderful community, and I want to just keep serving that. But then if I really sat down and thought about it, I bet I could come up with a whole bunch of like growth ideas or sponsor ideas or guest ideas or whatever. But I would love to hear from the people listening
Yeah,
if
I
you would
think
like.
for me, I want to hear from more people what they're looking for. I don't care about sponsor ideas. Like sponsors are great if we get them. If we don't, whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love sponsors and I love making money. So if anyone wants to throw some money at me, feel free. But
Yes, I'm available to receive money.
yeah, look, I'm gonna keep my exact same. I was actually did a call right before this with someone who wants me to do some sponsorship stuff with them, and I said to the guy, I don't sponsor anyone that I don't use their product. Like
Mhm.
that's my thing. Like, and I'm always going to keep to that. I will not put my name on anything or recommend a single product that I don't use myself. So that's my only commitment around
Yeah.
sponsors.
We've
Um,
always done that on this show
yeah,
too. We've always
always.
anyone who's ever approached us, we've been like, "Well, send us your thing and we'll try it, and if we like it,
Yeah.
then yeah, let's talk."
I just like to see us do, Allie came in here and said more focus on the female. I want to see more of
Yes,
that.
I wanna bring that back. I'm so excited.
I want to see more of that. I want to be a part of that though.
Ooh.
Because I like those conversations. I want because I learn from them. But I guess my point is I just like to see us do more. Hard hitting isn't the right term, but just maybe a deeper dive into people's psyches and what makes them tick outside of CrossFit. And that's why I
Yeah.
focus on female school because I had this big debate with someone this week about calling a woman angry, and is that misogynistic and sexist, or what's the basis behind it? And I think it's an interesting topic for a different podcast, a different time. That's great on that episode, to hear from women. Like, what does that mean to you when someone calls you angry? Does it piss you off, or is it sexist, or is it legit? Like, those are good conversations to have that I don't hear on other shows.
Yeah.
So I like to see us do more of that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And there are so many like females in sport topics that I had like lined up with people before the end of the year got so crazy that I definitely want to bring back per the suggestions of a lot of listeners. And I will work on scheduling those for this year, which I'm super excited about. But there was a lot of like training as a woman as you get older and a lot of like stuff specifically related to what happens to your body during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and how you can continue to train and recover. And not just CrossFit, but just be athletic and be alive, you know?
like even our last episode when we had the Strong Enough, Ashley was on
Yeah,
for the movie, and you guys started talking about sports bras, and I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a
totally.
problem. Like I think those are interesting topics to hear about. I like to have more adaptive athletes on,
Mhm.
and hear their stories because I think they have really interesting reasons as to why they do CrossFit. I'd like to hear from more affiliate owners. Selfishly, just to steal from them. And I also
Totally.
think they have interesting stories and just more everyday people and some athletes, obviously. I have Danny back on because we've got to have a whole F-bomb session every now and then. But um,
Yeah, and
yeah.
and also I would love to hear from more people within HQ itself, because
Mhm.
from the horse's mouth, like what is happening? What are you guys working on? What's coming down the pipeline? How is it going to benefit the affiliate side of things, the competitive side of things? I would love to know from them.
Well, we can work that out pretty
Yeah,
easily. I actually since I bought the affiliate, I've heard from more people within HQ than I ever thought I would, like in
cool.
different groups. So it'd be fun to have some of them on.
Yeah.
Caleb came in and said maybe Maddie Rogers. I would love to have Maddie Rogers
Yes.
on. Let me tell you why though, because she loves cats and John Mayer, and those are two of my favorite things.
Oh, you know why I love her is because she's so open about mental health.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
get
would
her.
fangirl really
I know her
hard.
coach very well.
Yay.
Yeah, and we had her coach on
Yeah,
actually. So,
Amy.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we can. Yeah, we can get her on. I think I'll
Oh my
try. I'll
god.
do my best.
Oh my god.
I'd fangirl though. I'm a big fan. I like
Same.
her.
Same.
Good stuff. Anyway, so hopefully we'll have a big year. Let's get
Yeah.
past Wodapalooza first, and then we'll work it
Okay.
out past that. So, all right. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna go put myself in bed.
I know. Yeah, I've kept you up past your bedtime. You should already be in bed.
Apparently.
So that's good. All right. Well,
Oh,
this has been fun, and there won't be a show next week on Tuesday because I'll be traveling. But we're gonna record two shows while we're in Wodapalooza from the podcast stage. I don't even know the times. We'll look it up. We'll figure it out. We'll have some guests. I don't even know who those people are going to be. But we'll be there recording. We'll release those after Wodapalooza. But you'll see a lot of content. Niki will be on the sidelines. I'll be competing in the gauntlet, and we'll have some video and photos of that foolishness and the party. Lots of photos from that.
Can't wait.
I know. Super fun. All right. Awesome seeing you as always, Nikki. For everyone listening, we love you guys and we'll catch up with you soon. Take care.